Hello and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper. It is March 3rd and the new trailer for the new Ghostbusters just dropped today. And I have been getting a lot of messages and a lot of people have been contacting me today asking me to do a reaction video to the trailer. Unfortunately, I can't give that to you because I've already seen the trailer. As soon as it went live, I was waiting for it and I watched it right as it came out. And in fact, I spent my lunch break today at work watching the trailer over and over and over, trying to really get my thoughts and wrap my mind around this because quite frankly, I just really didn't know what to think of the trailer. And I still kind of don't. And if there is one word that I would like to use to describe what I think of the trailer, it's misleading. And I'll explain myself. I didn't automatically hate the trailer, but I didn't automatically love it. I was rather confused by it because from the beginning there has been a lot of talk, and it seems like the people behind the movie have been wanting to make it very clear from the very beginning that this was a complete reboot and that this was going to have nothing to do with the original Ghostbusters. That being said, the trailer, and spoilers if you haven't watched it, I'll tell you that right now. If you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. Spoilers. The trailer opens up and it says, 30 years ago, a team of scientists saved the city. And, or 4 scientists saved the city. Something like that. Don't quote me. I've only seen it like a half a dozen times. But anyway, it opens with that. So it already, the first thing the trailer does is make reference to the original Ghostbusters. And they show you a shot of the firehouse, the original firehouse in New York that the Ghostbusters lived in. So already it's making reference to the original Ghostbusters. And then it follows with now a new team is ready to answer the call. So taking those two things into consideration, plus the fact that IMDb has confirmed that almost the entire original cast of Ghostbusters, except for Rick Moranis, who's retired, and Harold Ramis, who's unfortunately passed, with the exception of those two, everybody else from the original cast is going to be in this movie. However, IMDb doesn't show a character name for any of these characters, so or any of these actors rather. So we don't know if they're gonna just be themselves, or if they're gonna be just a cameo, or are they gonna play their original characters? Are they gonna play new characters? We don't know, and that's what makes it so weird. We know the original cast is gonna make an appearance in some way, and then we have this lead on at the beginning of the video. Also, Slimer makes an appearance in the trailer. And then the toys have shown us that one of the ghosts is going to be the No Ghost logo, this guy right here. Or at least he's going to look just like it. So taking those 4 elements into consideration, this really made me feel like this new movie is going to be a continuation of the original Ghostbusters. That's, at least to me, that's the way this trailer felt from its very beginning. It felt like they were showing us 30 years later of Ghostbusters. So now, if that is the case, and if this ends up being a continuation, I'm kind of on board with that, because it would be kind of like Extreme Ghostbusters was, where we had a completely new team, but it followed in the same universe, and it was a continuation of the real Ghostbusters cartoon. And I'm kind of on board with that because honestly, to be fair, the original Ghostbusters, one's dead, the other 3 are obviously they in universe they would be too old to carry the equipment and all that. Trust me, I know. This stuff gets heavy, and after a while you just can't do it anymore. I get it. So it would be fun to see a continuation of that. That being said, the studios and the people behind the movie have gone completely out of their way to let us know that this is going to be a reboot and not a continuation. And we have tons of websites that are reporting the same. And then also there's another point in the trailer where Melissa McCarthy's character is kind of bringing everybody in together. And And she kind of comes off, at this point, she sort of comes off like the Bill Murray, like the Venkman-ish character. My daughter coined that. She said, oh, she's the Venkman-ish character, which is kind of appropriate because at one point in the trailer, we see her, she's approaching McKinnon, and she says, you're an incredible engineer. And then she looks at Kristen Wiig and says, nobody beats you in quantum physics. Nobody's better than you in quantum physics. And she makes a mention that she says, we have been studying paranormal activity our entire lives. And then she says, you're a great engineer, nobody beats you in quantum physics. We could really provide a service here. People need help and we can provide that service. So, taking that scene right there, it sounds like within the movie, they don't know anything about the original Ghostbusters, as if that never happened. If they've been studying the paranormal stuff for 30 years, and this is their first opportunity to provide a service, that means that there's been no service before it. So, even if they were too young when the events of Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 happened, they were significant enough to where they would know about it. I was 2 years old when Elvis died. I still know who Elvis is because he was such a big, significant part of pop culture. So, if these girls would have been 2, 3, 4 years old when the events of Ghostbusters happened, a giant marshmallow walking through the city, and then 5 years later, the Statue of Liberty coming to life and walking through the city would be significant enough of an event that you would grow up in New York knowing about these events. And that scene right there made it seem like they didn't. And like they were coming up to with the idea of providing this service for the first time. So right off the bat, the trailer, at its very beginning, it seems like they are presenting it as a continuation, but then later in the trailer, it presents it as something new. So I find the message of the trailer conflicting and confusing. So that's my thought on the trailer. As far as the characters go, I like the way that Kristen Wiig came off. I like the way that McKinnon came off. I think I'm gonna like McKinnon's character a lot. They kind of did something, and I don't know, this possibly could be a nod, again, to Extreme Ghostbusters, maybe not, but McKinnon's character really seems to resemble a lot the one character from Ghostbusters Extreme, where, she's got the short hair, she's got the goggles, and at one point where they power up the pack, she reaches behind her, and she pulls out two, proton guns. So, and it's kind of like in Extreme Ghostbusters, like the girl did. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she had that proton gun instead of a thrower. So it really seems like her character may be a callback to Extreme Ghostbusters, which I think is really, really cool. Kristen Wiig, I've mentioned this before. I didn't care for her in Saturday Night Live. She really seemed like they were holding her back. It felt like it really felt like she did not get a chance, or she was not given the opportunity to flourish. So I was never a big fan of her when she was on SNL. But since her departure from SNL, anytime I've seen her in movies, I have really enjoyed seeing her. So, and again, and I got no different from this trailer. She seemed like a very likable character. So I like seeing her, and I like seeing McKinnon. Melissa McCarthy. I honestly, again, I have my reservations with her. I guess I'm a little biased. I have yet to see, last time I talked with you guys, I mentioned that I had yet to see anything I've ever liked Melissa McCarthy in. It doesn't really stand true anymore. I've watched St. Vincent with Bill Murray, and I really enjoyed Melissa McCarthy's appearance and performance in that movie. Where she was doing something different, where she was being given the opportunity to perform and to act and really flex that acting muscle. And she was doing something other than that stereotypical tired character that she always does, that lowbrow, tough, bad, foul mouth. I'm knocking over my toys, look at me. But that foul mouth, just over the top, I'm stupid, but I make up with it for it by beating you up. Character that she always plays, and it's just tired, and it's lowbrow, and it panders to the lowest common denominator. And so I am not a fan of Melissa McCarthy. Again, loved her in St. Vincent because she was actually allowed to act. As far as this movie goes, it seems like she's not so much of a lowbrow character as she is typically, but it kind of came off to me like she was trying too hard to be Bill Murray. There's a point in the trailer where they show her kind of trying to put the team together. You know, where she's talking to McKinnon, you're the excellent engineer, and Wig, you're the great physicist, and we can provide a service here. And it's sort of kind of like she was really trying to be what Bill Murray was to the original Ghostbusters. If you think about it, Bill Murray, quite possibly the best character in Ghostbusters. But if you take that movie and translate it to real life, Bill Murray brought nothing to, or Peter Venkman brought nothing to the table as far as the Ghostbusters team was concerned. You had Ray and you had Egon, who were the ones that were really thinking everything through. They were the ones that were coming up with designing and building the equipment, and they were really the guys that had the know-how. Peter really didn't bring anything to the table as far as smarts went. As far as really the only thing that Peter brought to the table was, I suppose, he was kind of like the business savvy kind of guy. To an extent. So, but other than that, he didn't bring much. You know, and I'm talking now, if we were to take that movie and translate it to real life, obviously on the screen and in the movie, he was arguably the best character because he was the funniest one. He was the lead man. So it seemed like McCarthy is kind of trying to go for that, but not succeeding. Again, this could be just my biased opinion because I haven't been a big fan of her, and I just really have to watch her performance. But it just seemed like she was trying so hard to be kind of like a mixture of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, because at the beginning of the trailer, she's the one that's filming the ghost, and it's a class 4 apparition, and she's the one that's naming off what kind of ghost they are, and we've been studying paranormal, and she seems like the big fangirl of all the paranormal stuff, which is what Ray was with the original Ghostbusters. But then she's the one that's trying to put the team together, and the one that doesn't really seem to bring anything to the table if the team were a real life team. Like I said, we've got the physicist, we've got the engineer, and then you've got Jones's character, who seems to be. She says it in the trailer. She tells the girls, "Look, you guys know all the science stuff, but I know New York. I know the streets. I can talk to people. I can get the right." So it seems like she's the one that brings everybody down to reality level or reality check level. Which, again, this is what Winston did. Winston in the original Ghostbusters was the guy off the street. He was the blue-collar worker. He wasn't a scientist. He wasn't anything like that. He was a guy looking for work, and he got a job. And he was the one that brought the reality check. When everybody was caught up over here thinking about math and science and everything else, Winston was the one that said, "Hey, wait a minute, reality check here, guys." You know, stuff like I gotta get my own lawyer, stuff like that, which was funny. So it seems like Jones is kind of going for that as well. She's the one that knows the streets. She works at the subway. She's been seeing all the ghosts. She can get the vehicle. She knows her way around the town. So it seems like she's bringing in that element, that very Winston element. However, if you go back and watch my previous chat about my Nerd Rage episode about this Ghostbusters movie that's coming out, I made some predictions that I even said on the video. I hope my predictions are wrong. I really do. But unfortunately, they seem to be coming true. And that is that they're going to take Jones and they're going to put her in a little box and they're not going to let her act. And they're just going to make her the stereotypical black girl, because in the trailer, she's doing the and the, oh hell, the devil done been a liar, something like that. Let the girl act. Let the girl speak normally. Let the girl, I don't know. It seems like they're going for the easy joke, and where she can do so much more. So as far as the trailer's concerned, towards the beginning of the trailer, I wasn't sure what to think of her, but then towards the end of the trailer, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like her character. So as of right now, I've got two characters, McKinnon and Wig, that scene, and I really think I'm going to like McKinnon's character a lot, just based on what I saw in the trailer. She's the engineer, she's the inventor. Her humor, her delivery. There's a scene where she tries to scare Kristen Wiig's character, and And she does. She scares her, and then she's asking her, "Is this too much? Is it one thing or the other?" Well, spoilers. It's what she's pretending to be like a mannequin head, and she's got a wig and a hat on, and she scares Kristen Wiig, and Kristen Wiig's like, "What's wrong with you?" And she goes, "It's the hat, isn't it? Is it the hat or the wig?" And just her delivery in that moment, that very matter of fact, "What was it that you didn't like?" kind of thing. That I found really funny. I really liked her delivery in that. So I think I'm going to like her character a lot. Again, Kristen Wiig, I tend to like her in movies. So those two characters, so far, I am kind of falling behind. I'm standing behind them. I'm kind of liking them. McCarthy and Jones, unfortunately, as of right now, with what I've seen, I don't know if I'm gonna like them very much. But we'll see as the movie continues, or as the trailer continues, as more information comes in. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the trailer. Like I said, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I found the trailer to be misleading. If this continues to be what the studio has said it is, which is a complete reboot, forget everything that came before, then you've got a little less of my support, because I'm really not in favor of that. I'm really in favor more of a continuation of something in universe. Of carrying that torch, which, if that is, and I know I'm kind of hoping high here, I'm throwing high hopes around, just based on that little bit on the beginning of the trailer, and the fact, the IMDb, and the actors, and the fact that Slimer was in it. If this turns out to be a continuation, an in-universe continuation, then I can see myself putting a little more support towards this project. But if it's a complete reboot, again, I'm kind of disconnected from it. So there it is. So my thoughts. I found it misleading, and I still don't know what to think. So this is an awful long video and an awful lot of talking for somebody who doesn't really know what they're thinking. So there it is. For everybody that asked me, there's my thoughts on the video. Thank you, everybody that's contacted me today and asked me to make a video, make a reaction, whatever. Thank you guys for your continued support. If there's anything you guys want me to do, absolutely, by all means, let me know by leaving me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.